Okay. So, thought I'd stream again. And today, I'm pretty much going to do, again, as with all these streams, all I'm doing is practicing, really. Just practicing what I want to improve on. But I thought, instead of just doing it by myself, I thought, I'd try to stream it so that people can see what I'm doing, and so I can interact with you guys. So that's what I'm going to do today, and I'm going to be practicing clothing because I still struggle with it. So I'm just going to keep practicing it, and So again, what I often do is I will just look at reference, study reference, and then I just go back trying to do some myself, and that's pretty much the process. My process is really simple with improving with most things. It's just reference, try it my own way, more reference, try it my own way, back and forth, and so that's what I'm going to do. And so let me look for some interesting clothing. I'm looking for folds and points of tension. I'm trying to understand what the hell I'm looking at. So let's do that. Let's see, clothing reference. Alright, so again, so like I said, I'm just practicing, and I thought I'd do it on live because I'm going to be practicing at this time anyway, so why not just put it on live, right? So let's find some good reference, practice this. Don't see anything I'm quite liking yet. Let's see. For instance, a lot of the reference I'm seeing, I can probably already draw it from memory. So I want to try and find things that I actually really, really struggle with. Let's see. Alright, okay, we got this one. So we have So this is some reference I found on Pinterest. I'm trying to see if I can interpret that reference in an interesting way. I'm being very picky about the lines I choose to draw and which ones I choose not to draw as well. So this area right here is like quite dark in the image, so I feel like I could have drawn it a bit better, but I mean this is fine for now, I think. And so I'll draw his I'm gonna ignore the head for now. Don't think it's important. Just trying to understand what on earth is going on with the clothing. We have these lines here. Let's see, the button there, button there. Okay, interesting. So that's that, and again, there's way more lines in the actual reference, or at least maybe not actually. I'm just trying to be selective about which ones I draw and which ones I don't draw, because so you get it something that looks decent. Okay, so I learned a few things there. Let's see what else we have. Let's see what else we have. So on Pinterest, there's just tons of ads for clothing. It's just like, if I search clothing, I'm just gonna be inundated with all these ads. Just making sure these lines make sense. Also, how you guys doing? Not much activity on the chat today, which is fine. Unless I'm not seeing something. Oh, here's an interesting one. Okay. Something I really struggle with is when people raise their arms in clothing. I don't know, it really is tough. So let me give this one a shot. So we have arm raised. And as a result, these lines seem to be, there seems to be a point of tension right here where the elbow is. So the lines kind of make their way there, like so. And we have some twisty. That's right, we're doing clothing again, yes. That's right. I'm practicing what I struggle with. Oh, nice. Oh, how's it going, Broken Draw? How's it going, Tyrion? I'm just practicing one thing today. As I do in most of my streams, I just practice one thing that I struggle with, which is clothing. So right now I'm looking at reference and trying to understand the reference as I'm drawing it. And as I do that, hopefully I pick up on things. I don't always pick up on things, but I think much of drawing is like very subconscious, so I don't try to make a theory out of everything. I just try to draw as much as I can and then see what I pick up, what I can remember when I next draw. So at some point I tried to draw like I might try to draw clothing, and oftentimes what happened is I will kind of like pick up on something that I picked up on while studying from reference. It will somehow enter my drawing, which is really, really cool, because it's like you don't know what you're improving on when you're just drawing random stuff, right? So I kind of struggled with raising arms, so now I kind of see what's going on. I guess it's like a twisting going on, but then most importantly is a point of tension right here, which is important to make sure I catch in my drawings whenever somebody raises their arm like that. Okay. What else have we got? Wow, everybody on Pinterest is so stylish, goodness. It's very heavily curated. This is let me find some trousers now. There's this kid and he's raising his legs with his baggy trousers, and let's see if I can catch some of that energy. And this line right here is going to dictate how I draw a lot of the rest of the drawing, because this is the point of tension, this is the line of tension. I think everything will kind of revolve around that. more attention right here. And this is his little back thing. Okay. Just curious, how many years have you been drawing for? Too many. Too many long, hard, difficult years. No, just kidding. Let's see. Every time I answer this question, I'm aware that I give a slightly different answer, so I try to keep it the same, but I keep forgetting. So I'll just say, for now, I'll say that let's say I was drawing for about how long have we drawing for? Drawing for about since I was about 14. Seriously, since I was 14, I think maybe. I was drawing before that, yeah, but I mean, I was, I wasn't really doing anything that was making me better, or maybe I was. You never know. Maybe I was, but yeah, before that, I was drawing for about, I'd say, I've been drawing since I was like, I don't know, like 7, but I didn't really learn anything until I was 14. That's when I actually started taking things seriously, and even then, I wasn't really being that serious. I'm 27 now, so no, I'm 28. My goodness, 28. I'm gonna die soon. Goodness. 28. I'm 28 now, so that would be wow. That's 14 years. That's a long time. That's a long time. Yeah. But it's like on and off. So there were times when I didn't draw for like 2-3 years at a time or whatever. So I wouldn't pretend that I was drawing all those years, like every single, like I really wasn't. So yeah, let's just say 10 years. 10 years on and off. Why do I have a crown next to mine? That's what I want to know. I don't know why you have a crown. Maybe you're a glazer, that's why. I don't know. I feel like maybe if you're like, I've been seeing the crowns a lot, so I'm gonna guess that maybe they say top fans. Maybe the people you guys watch all my videos, which is really good. Thanks, by the way. I really appreciate that. Maybe YouTube's keeping track of that. That's my guess. I don't know for sure. Also, thanks, Viggy. Your mind shows and your excellent skills. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Oh yeah, we are the same age. Oh, I didn't know that. 28. Nice. 28 is nice. Viggy, do you have a channel? Have I seen you before? Well, I feel like I've seen that name. Maybe I haven't. Maybe you've just been here before. Or maybe not. I'm searching if Viggy art. No. Okay, no, you don't have a channel. Oh, you do have a channel. Welcome to my art progress channel. Watch me become great. Yeah, you do have a channel. Nice. I'll subscribe to you. I knew I'd seen your name before because I usually like watch small YouTubers that draw a lot because I don't really care what the popular guys have to say, to be honest. I'm just joking. I do care what they have to say. I'm just saying. I just like to see small channels because they always interest me. It's interesting to see how smaller channels do stuff. Anyway, hi Zeftrol, I love your sketches a lot. I'm wondering if you have any advice on truly seeing 3D forms in perspective. I draw from reference IRL, however I notice I lose myself in line often. Truly seeing 3D forms in perspective. I draw my reference, however I lose myself in line often. The best way to see in 3D is to draw from reference. Draw from life, and let your brain learn to see space kind of naturally. That's like the best advice I give. Like I tell even my mentees, I tell them to draw. Some of them don't like it, but I tell them to do it anyway. To draw from life. So you take a space and you draw the whole space around you, right? So like, did I show these last week? I think I showed these last week. This is an example of that, right? So like you take a space, you sit in that space, you draw the place around you, right? And this is not going to look good the first time you try it. It's not going to look good. It's going to look horrible. But you have to do it. You have to just keep doing these things. Over time, your brain starts to understand how space works. There's only so much you can learn from perspective theory. Okay, so if you want to see space and seeing in perspective, seeing 3D forms in perspective, you need to do these things. You need to do these things. I showed my channel in your stream before. Asked for advice. Yeah, I think that's what it was. Yeah, it was Broken Draw. Yeah, I think it was Terrian. Yeah, he must have said your name in a stream, and I was like, oh yeah, that's cool. And I went and checked you out. The YouTube algorithm is actually so good. It really is. I don't know how they do it. But they manage to like show you small creators that you would never expect that it will show you. Like I think it's way better than whatever Instagram's doing is like completely silly compared to like YouTube. YouTube knows what they're doing to get people to see stuff YouTube knows what they're doing. YouTube knows what they're doing. Let's see. All about drilling the fundamentals using artwork, broken draw. Basically, I've been drilling perspective and form in pen only since I started 2 years and 7 months ago. Yes. Keep going. Keep doing that. You guys are my inspiration. Thank you. Appreciate that. I also noticed breaking down references helps. Into simplistic primitives helps a lot. I felt like a child for doing so, but it's integral. Yes. You know, I always tell this analogy. I always give this story to my mentees because they sometimes don't want to, or at least they don't necessarily, they might not find it as fun to do some of the things I tell them to do because they're not as exciting, right? But so I have a friend, right, and he's a really fast runner. Okay, he's a really fast runner, and so he went to, he wanted to compete professionally, so that's what he went and did. He went and found I don't know how they do it in the UK, but I mean, he found like a place to train him and all this stuff, and he was actually gonna compete like in like a nationally for something. I forgot what it was. Okay, and he was really fast. But for the first like year or so, or for some time, he actually slowed down, and he had to slow down because he found that he was running fast, but his technique was when his instructor corrected him, he found out that his technique was actually limiting him. So he actually went and he had to slow down as he was learning a new technique, which actually made him slower, right? Eventually that technique made him faster, but but when he first learned it, he didn't like it because it was like, what's going on? Why my time has gone down, my 100-meter time has gone down. And I think drawing can be like that, right? So oftentimes we have to slow down before we get faster again. We have to slow down, do some boring stuff, things that aren't necessary, things that make us look really bad at drawing, basically, to get better, right? And not everybody wants to do that. And the longer you've been drawing for, the harder this is to do because of pride, right? So if you've been drawing for a long time, you might not want to do those things because you don't want to feel like you suck at drawing. Nobody wants to feel that way. So you're, at least subconsciously, people often will avoid those things. But they need to be done, and they're always going to be waiting there. They're going to be waiting no matter what, and there's nothing you can do about it. Some fundamentals need to be tackled. So yeah. Let's see the questions. Found both of you from. You. I also noticed breaking down. Yeah, I think Google might have a lot more information on us than Facebook. I wonder if that helps. Yeah, maybe. Also curious. You're a software engineer as well, right? How has that influenced the way you think about art? It has. I don't think I have autism. I don't think so. But I'm very analytical, extremely analytical, because I'm a programmer, of course. So I think in systems and stuff like that. So that's why I actually say that my approach is not necessarily for everybody, because maybe some people, I don't know, maybe some people are just not gonna find my approach that helpful. Like I break things down into boxes and all this stuff. So like. So because I think like that, boxes and kind of like arranging things kind of like blocks in my head, maybe it's something that not everybody is natural for everybody. Maybe there's other ways that people can learn. So that's why I'm not like adamant that the way I think is the right way, but it has definitely influenced a lot of I was actually thinking about this the other day, like I think that my camera's turned off. What's going on here? Yeah, I was thinking about this the other day, and I thought to myself, I do think that being a software engineer makes me break everything down into systems, because programming, that's literally my job. My job is basically like I work for a company that makes CPUs. So basically everything is a system. Basically, that's my answer. Everything is. I try to think about everything in terms of a system, which again, like I said, might not be good for everybody, but it works for me. So it works for me. There we go. I got my thing back. I feel like took too long to answer that question because I was walking up and down. But I hope you got my answer. Broken draw. Yes, it does definitely impact my drawing, because I've noticed that I think I try to think in these kind of like analytical ways to solve problems, and it's definitely doing something. Like how often do I draw? I try to draw every day, but I don't draw every day. I draw like several times a week, every week I'm probably clocking like several hours. I don't know how many hours, but like every week it's definitely at least a dozen hours, maybe every week. But like maybe I'll do all of those in like 3 days, and then another 3 days I'll just chill, because that's just how I am. Like so yeah, my video is back. Proko was a software engineer, really? I didn't know that. Ben Eblen. Oh yeah, not Ben Eblen was, Master Art, Flu. I wonder why. I don't know. I think there probably is like. So my theory is that a lot of kids who spent a lot of time on the computer, like me when I was a kid, were into kind of like, I wouldn't say I was a weird kid, but I was like, into like anime and things like that. So there's like a crossover between people who are into anime and like into computers and like programming and stuff, because like you're just a nerd, right? And then and so like I think if you're into anime, you're probably you might find some interest in drawing. Oh right, he wasn't a software engineer, but he was into coding. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, interesting. That's really interesting. So you might find that you're interested in art because you watch anime, or you're into because you're into nerdy things, maybe. At least that's how I got into drawing. I was into watching anime, Dragon Ball Z, and then I was like, "Whoa, this stuff is cool as hell. Let me give it a try." Pcat. This is about to catch up. Yes, all the best, Broken Draw. Yes, hope your teeth get all the service they need, the best service. Yeah, I don't know. Why do you guys think there's a crossover between software engineers and artists? I wonder. There's got to be I think it's just there's got to be some reason, right? Or maybe there's crossovers all over the place, and this is just there's nothing really special about this one. maybe it's quite normal. I feel like they appear to be more popular simply because they are people closer to the tech world and more likely to share their lives online. Yeah, probably. There's probably some correlation there. Also, right, like kids who spend a lot of time. So I'm quite social now. I would say I'm quite social now. However, like if you're a kid like me, when I was a kid, I did spend a lot of time just by myself. You end up kind of having these interests that revolve around solitude. So like drawing, that's that's a very personal thing. You're just by yourself all the time. Coding, you're by yourself all the time. You're just you're completing something. You're completing a task, but it's pretty much in solitude. So I think there's got to be some crossover there as well, possibly. It's a pretty linear process to get good at representation, art style, personal flair notwithstanding. Yes, true. Zeph, when you do mention, how do you do them? Calls or worksheets? I want to have you as my art mentor for sure. Yeah, sure. Message me. We can work something out. I do calls. And some people want to work through worksheets. Not everybody does that, but I just try to get an idea of where you're at. And I just recommend things that you can do to improve. I don't expect everybody to like suddenly improve and become the best thing ever. I actually expect not to see much improvement at all because it takes ages to get good. But I expect to see that your method and modes of practice are improving, so you know how to think about certain things and what you need to do to get better, if you know what I mean, and how to approach things, because I think that's the most important thing. Plus, I'm assuming programming has its own sort of visualization and abstract thinking, which lends its way to an interest in art as well. Yeah. So like I've done all kinds of programming projects that, funny enough, a lot of them tend to be like, so like here's, if I find I'll find a 3D. If only I can find this. Let's see if I can find it. Let's see if mine's got to be here somewhere in YouTube. No, maybe not. Oh, here it is. So like, often a lot of the projects I would do would be kind of like based around a lot of the I just put that in. I put that in through the wrong account, so let me sign out, switch to another account, sign into Ugh. So here's like a project I've done. It's just a graphics rendering engine, but I did it from scratch, and like it's pretty much the kind of stuff I was interested in, like game design, game programming. So things that were visualizing things, anything that had visualizing in it, or something to do with graphics. I was quite interested in that. So I think there's like a crossover there for sure. 3D, thinking in 3D, making things out of 3D, you know. Also, are these references? So what site are they on? Oh yeah, these are all references. Right now I'm just drawing from reference. Like, oh yeah, so if you guys just joined, I'm practicing how to do clothing, but oftentimes when I practice anything, I pretty much will study reference for quite some time before I go and then attempt to do from memory. So like, just the way I practice. So right now I'm looking at images on Pinterest. You can find literally these are just random images. I don't even know. I just search clothing reference on Pinterest. That's it. Okay, perfect email. Best way to contact you. Yes, Pima. Email me and we can speak about these. I think that if you email me, we'll be able to speak more. Email is the best way to contact me. Yeah. Let's see if we can find. Okay, so I'm gonna give it a shot. Try to draw some clothing from memory without any reference. I don't expect it to look anything like this because this is like literally from reference, but let me see what I can do. All right, so we have we'll do straight on first, right? I just realised I'm not talking. I haven't said anything for the last minute. And I'll try. Let me give this a try. So I did learn today what the Ray's arm was like. So I'm going to try and see if I can do that from memory. So we have something like this, and oftentimes what will happen was this will go to a point of tension. Point of tension is here. I appreciate you, Michael. So I'll need to work on that some more. I'm not sure if I quite like the way that looks. That doesn't really look believable to me. So I'll take a look at the reference again. It looks like what's really going on is something more like this, and then this kind of eventually comes out like that. So what I did was wrong because I went. I just went. I'm not thinking about what's actually happening. Something more like this, and that's actually what's happening in between, because these are all radiating from this point of where everything's folding here. So I'll try that again. Let's see, we can try that again. I'll radiate these. To me, that looks a bit better. So that's that would be an example of how I would practice. So that's a really good example of how I will try and practice something to try and understand it. So you have to draw it from memory. Now again, this is like one particular image, but remembering this is going to help me with other things in the future when I think about drawing something similar to this or from another angle. So I've done a bit of that. I practiced something that I saw today for the first time. So let me go back and look at some more reference. Actually, there was one pose I drew where the arm was like coming out like this. Good old trousers, which look something like problem I have, which is pretty common, I suppose, is spending more time watching others draw than actually drawing myself. Have you experienced this? I don't know. Maybe, yeah, maybe I actually have. Actually, I think, yeah, I understand why people do that though. It's like the kind of trick ourselves into thinking we're doing something when we're not. I don't know, but I don't try not to do this, but maybe I do it sometimes. I don't know if I don't even know if I'm aware I'm doing it. If I'm doing it, but I used to watch KibDG streams a lot, but I tend to draw along, to be honest. Like right now, you know, in the title I have a call to action. Okay, the call to action is bring your pen and gather around the fire, guys, because it's not just about me drawing. You guys have to draw as well. That's the whole point. So I actually hope that you're drawing along with me. I hope you guys are not just like watching. You know, like we're hanging out a bit. Yeah, nice. We got one person to draw. Okay, that's good. If I could get one person to draw from this, that would be great. Oh, I'm not. I said I was going to draw from reference, but I ended up drawing from imagination a lot because I'm just trying to. So no, I'm not. I'm still practicing. Just practicing like clothing from memory right now. I think one thing I could do that I often miss is like just the overall shape of clothing. So like knowing what the form wrapping around the body is. So like I draw this pose a lot, right? But sometimes I actually get the clothing kind of mixed up in my head because I'm thinking about the details way too quickly when I should be just thinking, what is the overall shape of the clothing around this person? It's funny actually. Alright, let me stop messing around. Okay. We'll do some more reference. If only I could find a good reference. Oh, that's another one. An interesting one is like jeans from, or trousers from Psy, like. Let me try that straight on again, because I was not really happy with the way I did it the first time. Now that is a very scraggly shirt. I don't know about that one. There's a lot going on there on that shirt. So what I've done there is fine, but it's a bit too much because it doesn't really make sense to what's happening, like physically, like the physics doesn't make sense. So I'll need to keep practicing that stuff. Alright, I'll do one more and then I'm gonna take a nap. A nap. I say a nap, but I'm gonna go to sleep really. So if you have any more questions, then you can shoot them here before I get going. So let's see. This time I'll do from reference. This time I've drawn these three were from imagination. So let me take a break from that. Yeah, that's much better. That should be like that. Should be straight. I've been drawing for I got asked that in the same stream. I've been drawing for about since I was 14, on and off maybe, but it's about 14, and I was drawing for longer than that realistically. So I was drawing since I was 5 or 7, but I didn't really take it seriously because I wasn't really doing. I was just drawing, copying stuff. Then I got to about 14 maybe, and then I started taking it more seriously. I'm 28 now, so that's 14 years. So about 14 years. Let's say 14 years. By the way, I'm aware I give a different answer every time people ask me, so I'm sorry if everybody watches different content and then finds I'm giving different answers. It's because I don't actually really know fully, because let's just say a long time, at least a decade. This seems to be a guy doing a stretch. Alright, so I guess that's the end of the stream, and is this a short one? Let's see, how long was this one? I don't even know how long it was. Yeah, this is one of the shorter ones, an hour. So thanks for hanging out, and I will see you guys next week. I think I'll be streaming next week, I think at the same time, roughly similar times. So yeah, all the best, and take care guys.